Hey guys, let me show you how I rotate my tires on my Jeep. First step, affix the e-brake. Remove the rear tire from the Jeep. I'm going to label each tire as it comes off the Jeep. The spare is number 5. Next step is to loosen the lug nuts on all the tires. Break the lugs free, just about a quarter or a half turn. This step is crucial for the next part. Do not take the lugs completely off. Your wheel will fall off. Using a floor jack, jack the rear of the Jeep up by the rear differential. Be careful jacking a Jeep up. It might fall over. Bad things can happen. Don't crawl under it. Use common sense. You only need to go high enough so that the wheels can come off easily. Lower the Jeep onto the jack stands. To raise the front of the Jeep, jack on the center of the front axle tube. Be careful, because the tube is round and the jack might fall off. The axle tube is going to be the largest tube on the front of the Jeep. It's the thing that connects both the wheels together. Once the axle is securely on the jack stands, take off the tires. When I took my tires off, I labeled them. Number 5 is the spare, number 1 is passenger front, number 2 is driver front, number 3 is passenger rear, and number 4 is driver rear. Label each tire as you take it off. After labeling each tire, it's time to rotate them. So we're going to put the one that we got from the spare onto the right rear passenger side. Getting the tire on can be somewhat difficult. Just line up the holes and press it on there. Hand thread the lug nuts back on and then tighten them up, but not too tight. When tightening, you always want to tighten in a star pattern. If you labeled all the tires like I did, here's the sequence they should go back on, which is spare to passenger rear to passenger front to driver rear, driver front to spare, and driver rear to front driver. With all the wheels on the Jeep, it's time to raise it back up and take the jack stands off the Jeep. With the Jeep back on solid ground, it's time to torque the lug nuts. I used 120 foot-pounds as my torque setting. You always want to use a star pattern whenever you're tightening lug nuts on a wheel. If you don't have a torque wrench, you should be able to rent one from your local auto parts store. You just set the dial to the necessary foot-pounds, and then you crank on it until you hear the loud click. And that's it. You just put the spare back on the Jeep and you should be good to go. It might be worthwhile to check the torque on the lugs in a couple days to make sure nothing loosened up. I plan on rotating my tires about every 6,000 to 10,000 miles. I want to get the most I can out of my tire. As always, comment, subscribe, check out my website, franksjk.com. I'd love to hear from you guys.